In this video, we'll cover all you need to know before traveling to Berlin, including maps, transportation, where to stay, prices, best apps to use, best city views, and much more. We want to thank Septix, a #1 choice for travel adapters on Amazon, for sponsoring this video. Here are our 11 essential tips. Number 11. The map of Berlin. Berlin is the capital and the largest city of Germany and lies on both banks of the River Spree. For orientation, let's start with the historic Brandenburg Gate, an iconic 18th century gate featuring the ancient goddess of victory. Just a short walk from the Brandenburg Gate is Bundestag or Reichstag, the national parliament of the Federal Republic of Germany. If you go south of the gate, you will find the memorial to the murdered Jews of Europe. Right in the heart of the city is the Potsdamer Platz, a prominent public square and traffic intersection. You can see Berlin Wall remains in front of the Topography of Terror Museum, located at the former headquarters of the Gestapo. If you continue towards the east, you will find the famous Checkpoint Charlie, used as a border crossing between the East and the West Berlin in the Cold War. If you continue south, you will arrive at the Jewish Museum. Kreuzberg district is famous for art galleries. Markthalle 9 is a popular spot for those who want to experience international and local food. If you cross the famous Oberbaum Bridge from 1896, you will get to the Wall Museum and the famous East Side Gallery, a place where 118 artists covered a part of the Berlin Wall with graffiti and art as a tribute to the fall of the wall. Raw Temple is where the alternative culture thrives in its bars, clubs, beer gardens, food trucks, and a Sunday flea market. Close to the Molecule Man, the famous sculpture on the river, there is Badeschiff, a floating swimming pool and beach bar. If you continue up the river, you will arrive at another riverside beach club, Yam, and the World Trash Center. Museum Island is a complex with 5 noteworthy museums. Further down is Alexanderplatz, home to the Berlin TV Tower. If you continue towards the north, there is the Auguststraße, one of the centers of contemporary art, and the Berlin Wall Memorial. Now let's go back to the Brandenburg Gate. If you continue west from the Brandenburg Gate, you will arrive at the Tiergarten district, famous for Victory Column, a zoo, a large park, Neuer See, Landwehrkanal, Soviet War Memorial, and much more. Close to the zoo, there is also the Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church, which was destroyed in 1943. The beautiful Baroque summer palace Charlottenburg, featuring beautifully decorated rooms, lushful gardens, and lakes, is located in the western part of Berlin. The Botanical Garden and the Botanical Museum houses approximately 22,000 different plant species. All the attractions that you see here, plus many additional ones, are covered in our travel guide, which comes with a dedicated Google Maps. Tegel Airport is located about 8 miles or 12 kilometers from the city center, and Schönefeld Airport is located approximately 14 miles or 23 kilometers from the center. To get a better sense of the distance, a 1 mile or 1.6 kilometer walk from the Brandenburg Gate to Checkpoint Charlie takes about 20 minutes and approximately 5 minutes less if you combine walking and public transportation. If you walk from Brandenburg Gate to East Side Gallery, it takes about 1 hour or approximately 30 minutes if you combine walking and public transportation. Attractions in Berlin are spread out, and if you want a fun, fast, and eco ride in the city, we recommend using an electric scooter. Number 10. Weather and climate. Berlin has a moderate continental climate with cold winters and hot summers. Temperatures in winter are generally right below or around freezing. The coldest months are December and January. The temperatures range between 28 and 41 degrees Fahrenheit or -2 and 5 degrees Celsius. There is not a lot of sunshine and snow is common. Snow and ice can often cover the city for longer periods of time. In the spring, the weather is pleasant, with mid-March as the start of the season. The temperatures range between 39 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit or 5 to 13 degrees Celsius. Summer has some of the warmest months, with some rain and longer days. The warmest months are often June, July, and August. temperatures range between 54 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit or 12 to 24 degrees Celsius. The temperature can sometimes exceed 88 degrees Fahrenheit or 30 degrees Celsius. Weather at the beginning of the fall is still pleasant, but it then quickly becomes colder, rainy and sometimes even snowy. Temperatures range between 42 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit or 5 to 13 degrees Celsius. Of course, these are all just averages. The weather and temperatures can be different when you visit, so remember to always check the weather forecast before your travel. Number 9. Best time to visit. The best time to visit Berlin is between May and September. Of course, summer gets the most tourists and prices are higher, but the weather is still pleasant. The cheapest time to visit Berlin is in the fall when there are fewer tourists and the prices of accommodation are lower and the weather is still pleasant. However, you'll probably have a great time regardless of the season, since Berlin is full of amazing attractions and things you can do all year long and regardless of how cold it is. And how can you figure out the best days and hours to see the attractions? Just check Google to see how crowded a specific location is at a particular time of day. Of course, we recommend going early during the week and/or in the morning. Many travelers stay in Berlin for 3 days to see its main attractions and soak in the atmosphere of this fascinating city. If you want a more relaxed experience, you can stay an extra day or two. Number 8. Where to stay and prices of accommodation. If this is your first time in Berlin, choose to stay in the Mitte neighborhood around Potsdamer Platz, where you'll have many of the best sites, bars and the restaurants just minutes away. For nightlife, stay in Kreuzberg with great clubs and underground culture. If you're on a budget, stay outside the city center, for instance in Friedrichshain. The public transportation is good and it wouldn't take too long to travel to different parts of the city. If you're traveling with a family, Charlottenburg-Wilmersdorf is a good option since it's near the family-friendly attractions. A mid-range hotel double room in Berlin costs from 80 to 100 euros per night. For budget hotels, you can find one starting from 45 euros on average. Hostels cost around 10 to 15 euros per night. Alternatively, you can rent an Airbnb apartment for about 55 euros per night. Again, these are all just average prices and the ranges for different hotel categories are quite extensive, and in the summer or during the weekends the accommodation can be more expensive. But with a little research online, you can get better deals, especially if your dates are flexible and you don't travel in high season. Check out our video on the best apps for booking your stay. Number 7. Transportation. Arriving by train. You can travel to Berlin by train from numerous European cities. The main train station is Berlin Hauptbahnhof, aka Berlin Central Station. Arriving by car. You can use Google Maps to get driving directions to Berlin. For parking, you can opt to park in one of the car parks in the city. There are also parking spots in the city where you can buy a parking ticket. Parking usually costs between 1 to 4 euros per hour. Alternatively, you can book one of the many hotels in the city that offer parking. Getting around the city. There are many ways to get around Berlin, and it's easy to get lost and confused because of its interlinked networks. You can cover some of the attractions on foot, but if you don't feel like walking all day, you can use the following options: S-Bahn railway, the U-Bahn or underground, tram and metro tram, bus, taxi, electric scooters, bikes, car sharing, river cruises and boat trips, and other forms of transportation. If you're using public transportation, you should know there are 3 zones in Berlin. A single ticket, valid for 2 hours, covering zones A and B, costs €2.80, €3.10 for zones B and C, and €3.40 for all 3 zones. A short distance ticket costs €1.70 and a day ticket is €7. Don't forget to validate your ticket when you enter the railway, tram or bus. Check out our travel guide for more information and prices. By the way, our travel guide is a mobile-friendly PDF document that you can store on your phone for offline use. It covers the top 10 things to do in Berlin, plus 10 additional attractions, maps, links, opening hours, and other information that will help make your trip to Berlin stress-free. Number 6. General information. Here are some other things you should know for a pleasant and smooth experience in Berlin. Drinking water. It is perfectly safe to drink tap water in Berlin. While some drinking water fountains are available throughout the city, if you can't find one, you can just buy bottled water in a store. Most restaurants also won't serve tap water, but they will give you some if you ask for it. toilets. While there are many public toilets in Berlin, most of them have attendants at the entrance and you will need to tip them, about 50 euro cents. If you can't find a public restroom near you, you can easily use a restroom of a bar or a restaurant, but you will have to pay either way, even if you are a guest there. So make sure to always have enough coins ready. If you want to see where public toilets are located, you can use an app on your phone, but more about that later. Free Wi-Fi. You can get free Wi-Fi at plenty of outdoor and indoor hotspots all over the city, including restaurants, fast food places, cafes, bars and hotels. Crowds and lines. Berlin is a popular destination, so be prepared to wait in line, especially in the summer months and around big tourist attractions. The same goes for restaurants and other public places. Even if you can't avoid all the crowds, you can do some things to make your trip to Berlin a more pleasant experience. You can avoid peak seasons, such as August and October, avoid traveling during the rush hours, get up early in the morning to explore the city without the crowds, or just before closing time, book tickets and reservations in advance to skip the lines. Use Google Maps or similar app to check how crowded a specific location is at a particular time of day. Explore the suburbs once you've visited the must-see attractions at the city center. Or get accommodation tickets and or sightseeing passes or tourist passes. Safety. Berlin is generally a very safe place for tourists. A few areas are better avoided by night, but they are usually not located near tourist attractions. Typical for all major cities, of course, beware of pickpockets, especially around significant attractions and in big public squares. Watch your valuables and use common sense. For emergency services, dial 112. Number 5. For international travelers. Travel adapters. If you're coming from outside Europe or from the UK, you will probably need a special European travel adapter to charge your phone and other devices. Berlin has Type F power plugs, so we recommend purchasing a travel adapter before traveling to the city. In fact, it is worth buying a universal travel adapter so you can use it in other countries too. Did you know that the different adapters charge your phone, laptop and other devices at different speeds? Sometimes charging goes nowhere, and when you're traveling, you need your device ready to go fast. Septix just released a brand new travel adapter designed to charge your devices more quickly. We've used it on our trip to Berlin. With multiple attachments, it allows us to charge up to 4 devices at once, which is convenient considering most hotel rooms only have a few outlets. Also, we can just bring the right attachment in a pouch. Visit Septix's user-friendly website to find adapters that fit your needs and visit their new YouTube channel with travel advice videos. The link is in the description. Currency. Berlin uses euros, a currency used in most European countries. At the time of making of this video, 1 euro equals approximately $1.10 or 85 pence. While most hotels, stores and restaurants in the city accept major credit cards like Visa or MasterCard, it is always wise to have some euros in your wallet, especially if you plan to visit outdoor markets and other similar places. Also remember to always check the current exchange rate before traveling. Language. The language spoken in Berlin is German. Most tourist places, such as restaurants, hotels and bars, as well as major attractions, have someone who speaks English. ATMs and money exchange. You can easily find an ATM in Berlin. However, you will probably be charged a fee, so try to reduce the number of times you use the ATMs. Alternatively, you can always exchange your money at the money exchange. Just remember to always compare the exchange rate on your phone to the board displayed at the currency exchange office. Prepaid SIM cards and pocket Wi-Fi. In Berlin, there are over 5,000 free Wi-Fi hotspots. The Wi-Fi in these areas is free and there is no registration. Check out our travel guide for the list of areas with free Wi-Fi. You can also purchase a prepaid SIM card to access the internet on your phone. Some options provided by local carriers are Vodafone, Telecom and O2. You can buy a travel plan that includes the internet at any of their stores in Berlin. A local SIM card with at least 1 GB of data costs 15 euros. O2 is the cheapest, followed by Vodafone and Telecom. If you're from the US and travel a lot, consider using Google Fi. See our travel guide for more information. Number 4. Best apps to use in Berlin. Here is a list of useful apps. BVG for finding routes, tickets and timetables for public transportation. Uber for getting a ride, or free now if you prefer to book a taxi, Lime, Jump, or any other electric scooter app so you can reach your destination faster and enjoy the city on the way there. The Berlin Wall app to discover where exactly the Berlin Wall ran, TripAdvisor and Yelp for reviews of restaurants, hotels, museums, tours, etc. With Locals or Eat With for food and other experiences with local guides, Google Maps or Apple Maps for walking, public transportation, driving, etc. Google Maps also lets you download maps, which is a great option if you don't want to use roaming. Sit or Squat or Flush for finding public restrooms, and Wi-Fi Map or Wi-Fi Finder, which helps you find Wi-Fi throughout Berlin. Check our travel guide for links to download these apps on iOS and Android and get more great app suggestions. Number 3. Food and prices. Berlin has plenty of dining options and offers a great variety of international and traditional German food. We suggest using Yelp or TripAdvisor to find nearby places with good reviews. Try to avoid restaurants at or near the major tourist attractions. You will often get a much higher price-quality ratio at a local place away from the main attractions. An inexpensive restaurant meal can cost up to 25 euros, and a 3-course meal at a mid-range restaurant is about 30 to 40 euros. A full traditional German dish is from 15 to 25 euros. A traditional German dish like Wiener Schnitzel is around 15 to 20 euros depending on the portion. A popular currywurst will cost you from 2 to 3 euros. As for drinks in bars, a coffee costs around 2 euros, a bottle of water around 1 euro, a bottle of soda about 2.50 euros, and a pint of beer or a glass of wine for about 4 to 5 euros each, while cocktails run about 5 to 8 euros. Of course, prices are higher in front of the famous tourist places. There are plenty of great cheap eats in Berlin. Check our travel guide for maps with best apps and cheap eats. And just a quick note regarding tipping, restaurants already include a service charge in their bill. However, if you want, you can still leave a 5 to 10% tip in case you really like the service. Number 2. City passes and exploring the city. If you're planning to visit at least a couple of attractions and want to save some money, you can get a Berlin Welcome Card or a Berlin Pass. Both options offer free entry to some of the top attractions, various kinds of discounts, free river cruises, and more. Check our travel guide for current prices and links. There's also the Berlin Museum Pass, where you can have access to more than 30 museums in 3 days. A great way to discover Berlin is by walking tour, organized by professional guides who know a great deal about the city's rich history. Some providers even offer free walking tours. However, at the end of the tour, it is recommended to make a donation. See our travel guide for links to websites of free guided tours and other exciting tours of Berlin. Number 1. Best views of Berlin. You can enjoy amazing views of Berlin from one of the following places: the Berlin TV Tower, the Reichstag Dome, Victory Column, Panoramapunkt, the Berlin Balloon, Victoria Park or Prussian Monument for the Liberation Wars, 25 Hours Hotel Bikini Berlin, and Klunkerkranich. And don't forget to check out our top 10 things to do in Berlin. Just click here.